Stem diameter is a critical measurement that has to be made in order for maple producers to sustainably manage their sugar bush. And that's because if you tap a tree before it's large enough, you're going to accumulate damage in sections of the tree that don't allow for the movement of sap. And so the tree is going to be, you're not going to kill the tree by tapping it too young, but you're going to reduce its productive capacity. There are several ways that we can measure the diameter of the tree. The easiest way to do that is to use what's called a scale stick. Tree diameter is an important metric that we want to know about the trees as we're preparing to tap them. Trees need to be large enough so that when we drill a hole in the tree and the tree can continue to grow, as we move around the tree and we tap, that new wood can heal the wounds that we create when we tap those trees. The starting point that we use here at Cornell's Arnott Teaching and Research Forest is a minimum 10-inch diameter tree before we decide that it's eligible or available to be tapped. So we use often use what's called a scale stick that allows us to quickly estimate the diameter of the tree. In truth, your eye becomes calibrated and you can pretty quickly say, is the tree bigger than 10 inches in diameter or less than 10 inches in diameter? When we measure tree diameter, we always measure at a height that's 4.5 feet above the ground, and we call that diameter at breast height, or DBH. So the way you use a scale stick, and this is a specially designed stick that's calibrated so that it takes into account the curvature of the tree and the diameter of the tree. So we hold that stick against the tree. The left edge of the stick is the zero edge, so we align that with our line of sight on the left side of the tree. And then on the right side of the tree, we look over, and here we see that that's about a 13-inch diameter. Now, trees are seldom round, and this is a good example of that. So we could take another measurement on this side of the tree, but this is the narrow side is 13 inches, so I would know that this tree is at least 10 inches in diameter. That's a fairly quick way to measure tree diameter, but it's not as accurate as some other ways. Another way to measure tree diameter is to measure it using what's called a diameter tape. So a diameter tape is a simple tape measure, but the increments are in pi units. So that first inch is actually 3.14 inches. So as we wrap the diameter tape around the tree, we're measuring the circumference, but it's calibrated to report the diameter. So we can take this tree, again, we want to be about 4.5 feet above the ground. And then we bring that over and we pull the tape tight, and we can see the zero line matches up with about a 13.4 inch diameter. So our scale stick estimated about 13 inches. This is a more precise measurement. So most maple producers or woodlot owners are not going to be needing to use a diameter tape because these are relatively expensive and it's time consuming. We use them when we're doing research. One of the ways that we measure tree diameter in research when we want to be able to monitor changes in a tree. So if we've done something to a tree, we've given it more sunlight, or we have a fertilizer trial, we want to be able to know how that tree responded. So where you position the diameter tape matters, and you have to do it consistently. So on our research trees, we'll put a tag at about a foot off the ground, and then we have a stick that's 3.5 feet tall. That allows us to then measure diameter at breast height at the same location year after year. So we would simply put the tape around the tree, make sure we don't include the diameter or don't include the drop line, and then we pull it tight, and now this measurement is 13.3 inches in diameter. So those are the 3 ways that the 4 ways actually. So the simplest, quickest way is what we call an ocular estimate, which is a fancy way of saying you're going to eyeball the diameter of the tree. We can use a scale stick, we can use a diameter tape, or we can use a diameter tape for a specific location.